Hello, my name is Jamie, and welcome back to the channel. Unlike any other channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, my channel exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe.
So let's get into today's video. In today's video, we are bringing another non-XL team. However, it's not one of the common lines such as Obstagoon, Double Fire, Snorlax, Gengar, Machamp. We are bringing a completely unique non-XL team. We're going to be leading with the Shadow Flygon. Shadow Flygon is a really good pick. Obviously, it's super weak to Charm and Ice, so we're going to have to bring covers for that. However, it is something that I'm yet to see this season whatsoever, so we're going to bring it. To give this Shadow Flygon protection from Ice and Charm, we're going to bring a Kanto Mark, as obviously the most common Ice types are going to be Lapras and they're going to be a Bomber Snow. We can hit Lapras with Thunder Punch, and we can obviously hit a Bomber Snow with Poison Jab. We're going to be rounding off the team with the big thick boy, Shadow Snorlax, as again this has pretty neutral matchups with the counters for Flygon, as well as being a really good generalist, and obviously being able to handle a lot of common threats such as Jellicent. So with this team, we normally have a designated save switch. We can either use Mach or Shadow Snorlax. It depends what we see in the lead, depends what I'm going to save switch into. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the battles. We are going to be leading Shadow Flygon for the duration of the video. In game 1, we pick up a fairly good lead against Shadow Nidoqueen. We are resisting these poison jabs, although Shadow Flygon's super squishy, it doesn't really look resisted. They are staying in, so we overfarm a touch and we fire off this Dragon Claw. We do grab the shield. I'm counting the poison jabs. You can see I'm clicking Snorlax. I am attempting to swap out because I don't want to get baited. However, as I was unable to swap, I do correctly shield the Earth Power. The opponent now switches into a Stunfisk. Stunfisk is a bit of a strange swap in. Obviously, they are resisting our quick move. However, Earth Power would almost one-shot. I fire off the Earth Power and grab the opponent's last shield. We now bring in Shadow Snorlax. Shadow Snorlax has a pretty decent matchup here, as Superpower does around 60% of its health. I let the first Earthquake come through. They're now at the second Earthquake, so I am going to shield up. We correctly shield the Earthquake. Now I overfarm to the point where I think this Superpower should KO. I haven't played this matchup in a while, and it unfortunately comes just short. They get to a charge move. This will just be a Rock Slide, which won't KO. So I'm going to let it go through. Gets us quite deep. With hardly any HP, we are able to lick down. I can see the Poison typing in the top right hand corner, so I immediately throw this Body Slam, and the Poison Jab you saw come through will take us out. The Nidoqueen is now very low on HP. We bring in Flygon, a couple of HP, and in comes Gyarados. This Gyarados is actually on Legacy Dragon Tail. That's cool to see. We have obviously run one of them in Master League. The opponent lets the charge move come through as they've got no shields. And we do massive damage. We now can bring in our Kanto Mark and commit to the Poison Jab down. And the opponent is going to leave the match as we have a charge move ready. That Nidoqueen had hardly any health, so we're off to a 1-0 start. Moving on into game 2. We lead our Shadow Flygon into a Venusaur. This is a kind of neutral matchup as due to the Dragon Ground typing, we are neutral to grass. You can see there we missed 2 fast moves, so we are behind. Hashtag Niantic fix your game. However, we do get a Dragon Tail through, so we do catch up. We shield up the Frenzy Plant. Like I said, due to the Dragon Ground typing, grass is neutral and Frenzy Plant is a really good move. So we fire off this Dragon Claw and we get the shield. I'm counting their Vine Whips. And on the 6th Vine Whip, we catch on Muck. Like I said before, depending on what we see at the start, we will then decide what to save switch into. I save switch into Kanto Muck as the Frenzy Plant is resisted, whereas it's neutral on Snorlax. The opponent now counter swaps into an Obstagoon. We are resisting counters, so I'm unsure on why they've swapped into this. They must have something in the back that is weak to poison. They managed to get the boost, which is terrible for us, but Muck is super thick, so due to resisting counter, the opponent has got scared and threw their energy as we are just short of the next Thunder Punch. This Obstagoon is now going to be a problem, because if they shield this, they are going to be able to do massive damage to us, and obviously Snorlax licks are triple resisted. The opponent lets it go through, one more fast move, takes out the Obstagoon, and in the back they've got another Gyarados. So I build up to the Dragon Claw. I'm hoping this will grab the last shield as Gyarados is super squishy. We now switch into Snorlax. I'm going to keep farming as I know they're going to try and sack at some stage as the Venusaur is energy dry. Charge move coming through. I'm going to shield this up. We shield the Crunch. And there is the Venusaur. They were dry on energy. It's 665 is the count for Frenzy Plant. So on the 4th Vine Whip, I throw the Body Slam as we would lose CMP. Back out comes the Gyarados. This Body Slam should be almost enough to take him out. See, they're deep in the red. The Charge Move coming through. A Crunch or an Aqua Tail will not KO from this range. And one more lick should be enough to take the game. So GG's to that opponent. Off to a 2-0 start. Facing a difficult lead there, but we managed to play our way out of it. Moving on into game 3 of the set, we face an Escavalier. Escavalier is something that probably beats all 3 of our Pokemon. They resist the Dragon Tails from Flygon. They also resist Poison Jab, and Lick would be neutral, however Snorlax would take super effective damage. So we shield up the first drill run, we over farm, we get to the Earth Power, and now we bait with a Dragon Claw. The Dragon Claw does get the shield, however this time I am now just going to go for a Dragon Claw, as I don't want the opponent to shield this next move, I want this chip damage. They do let it go through. Escavalier is squishy, so it gets them deep into the red. I'm now going to be able to let this charge move come through, and now I'm going to have to commit to a lick down with Snorlax. Due to them allowing that second Dragon Claw to come through, I should be able to lick down before they reach a charge move. Snorlax takes a fair bit of damage, but we manage to lick down, and the opponent brings out Dragonite. I overfarm, and I now go for this Body Slam. The opponent lets it go through, and I Safe Switch into Kanto Mark. In the back, they have got a Jellicent. Jellicent obviously resists these Poison Jabs, however, both of our charge moves hit for super effective. The opponent throws on 4, so it can only be a Bubble Beam. I now overfarm a lot and go straight for this Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse comes through and does massive damage. I know I will survive this Shadow Ball, if it is a Shadow Ball they throw, which it is, and I'm now at the next charge move. This Thunder Punch should be enough to take them out if they don't shield. Just short, one Poison Jab does take them out, and back out comes Dragonite. I now need to commit to the Lick Down. Unfortunately, due to our debuff, Poison Jabs just didn't do enough damage. I'm unsure if we're going to be able to Lick Down in time. We need to survive this Dragon Claw. However, it's going to be a race. It's going to be Dragon Breath versus Lick. And unfortunately, the Dragonite survives with 1 HP to take that next game. So GG's to that opponent, a super close game. In this next matchup, we face a level 50 Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz versus Flygon. It's an interesting matchup. These foul plays, even though Mandibuzz is a super defense weighted Pokemon, they normally tickle. Flygon is super squishy as it does almost half of our health. We build up to the Stone Edge. The opponent doesn't respect it, as I think most Flygons will be running Dragon Claw and Earth Power. However, these Dragon Tails have really chunked them down, so we go for the second Dragon Claw, which does grab the shield. The Mandibuzz is farming up loads of energy, and they manage to catch the next Dragon Claw onto Ferrothorn. We've got a great answer for Ferrothorn in our Kanto Mark. Most Ferrothorns run Power Whip and Mirror Shot. Looks like that is the moveset that this Ferrothorn's running. These Poison Jabs are single resisted, but Poison Jab with the buff's a really good move. So you can see that they are hurting a lot more than these resisted Bullet Seeds. They allow the foul play to come through, which does over half their health. The Ferrothorn is now getting really low. We can let another charge move come through, as Mirror Shot really isn't a very good move. We're hoping for no debuff, which we don't get. We overfarm, and now we throw this resisted Thunder Punch. This resisted Thunder Punch should be enough to take him out. However, the opponent gives up their last shield. We're still not in Mirror Shot range, so I'm going to allow this next move to come through. And the Ferrothorn's now getting so low on HP, we are going to be able to commit to the Poison Jab down. So their Kanto Mark beat the Ferrothorn in the 0-1 shield. Back out comes Mandibuzz. That Mandibuzz has absolutely loads of energy. However, they do lose CMP to Kanto Mark. So we take out the Mandibuzz, it's got around 100 energy. Switching to Snorlax, they've got a Jellicent in the back, and that is a GG's to that opponent. So our triple non-XL team manages to beat a triple level 50 team. Moving on into the last game of the set. Like we said earlier, Flygon is super weak to both Ice and Fairy. So probably the worst case scenario would be a Powder Snow Ninetales, and that's what we see here. We safe swap into our Snorlax, and then yet again we are hard countered with a Machamp. This game isn't looking great. However, we managed to gain shield advantage, so hopefully that can be enough to flip this endgame. Our Flygon is pretty dead weight, so we're now going to bring in Flygon as a damage sponge. These Dragon Tails are really chunking us down. I'm not going to shield this up. I'm going to put it all on Kanto Mark. I'm going to commit to the Dragon Tail down, which we managed to do here. We're going to bank this energy and immediately swap into Kanto Mark. Back out comes the Alola Ninetales. They do throw some energy. Weather Ball doesn't hit us that hard, but I am going to try and maintain some health. And in the back is a Jellicent. They're at 4 hexes, and I fire off this Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse gets them low. They're now at the Shadow Ball. They haven't thrown yet. They are over farming. Thunder Punch comes through. Gets them really low. They are now throwing. They're only getting to 1 move. I'm hoping they throw the Shadow Ball. They decide to bait us, as obviously they do want to debuff these poison jabs. However, I couldn't risk a Shadow Ball as it would get us too low. Now the Kanto Mark's got a lot of work to do. We are going to have to get to 3 charge moves. It's not looking promising. These Thunder Punches, now they're debuffed, only do around 20%. However, the Alola Ninetales is getting really low. They throw some energy. They've only literally got about 2 HP. We're going to see if Flygon can Dragon Tail down. Unfortunately, we get Powder Snow down and the Alola Ninetales survives with 1 HP and a Dream. So you can see there that we had 2 matches where we were really super hard countered. However, the opponents literally both survived with 1 HP and a Dream, which shows that this team is really good. If you are looking for a non-XL team, something that's a bit different, I would recommend trying this team. Shadow Flygon obviously isn't the cheapest investment. However, I think a regular Flygon would work just as well. If you follow this channel for a while, you'll know that I love Shadow Snorlax. He's been like one of the original guys. And this season, Kanto Mark has been fantastic. I've got loads of videos showing the power of Kanto Mark. So I'd just like to say, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoy the content, smash that like button. If you've got any suggestions on Shadow Pokemon you'd like to see, post it in the comment section down below and I will do my very best to showcase them. So thanks for watching and I'll see you all in the next one.